Yeah, there's stories now, bro. I'm gonna tell a story now. So, what do you want to hear? Do you want to hear? There was a brother. I was a delegate, right? I'll tell you. This is when one of the brothers, he took his life in prison. I was a delegate at the time, and when this occurred, it made me realize that I was no longer built for prison. Like, I was just no longer built for prison because Umi 8899, thank you. When I seen the pain in his family and I heard the howling in her cries, I just knew that, like, I was no longer cut out for this life. And even though he had taken his own life, it made me reflect on the lives I've taken, if that makes sense. And it made me reflect on the pain that I've caused other people and how their family respond and react to that pain. I know that this poor brother had taken his own life, but to see the pain in their eyes, to hear the pain in their cries, it touched me in a different way, you know, like it actually shook me up a little bit, and it made me rethink on who I wanted to be as a person, because obviously other family members would have went through this on the pain that I've inflicted on other people and on the lives that I've taken whilst living this life as an inmate and a criminal, right? So this is one of the main reasons I decided that I wanted to be a spokesperson for the youth and a beacon of hope for the youth, that it's never too late to change your ways. It's not about where you start. It's about how you finish, and it's not even about how you get there. Cuz I don't want to see you without 210 merch on, cuz slack Brandon. Oi, cuz I wear it, but I'm not wearing it all the time because I'm waiting for it to, you know, but I got one here. I might put it on for you. It's downstairs. I'll get it and I'll put it on. Yeah, I become aware. Oi, Zarani, exactly. I become aware that life was too short. Exactly. So what happened was I was the Aboriginal delegate at the time. Now, if you're unsure of what an Aboriginal delegate is, it's an inmate that is given the role of a spokesperson for the brothers and the officers. This is a Todd Gaza Snitch, S.J. I love that name, bro. That's mad. For you to have to use that name like that means I'm living in your head rent-free, bro. But, oi, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. I love it. I love that name. That's hectic. That's hectic. I actually love it. So I'm the delegate, right? So what happens is you're the point of call for any issues that happens between the brothers, officers, brothers, and any other races, right? Now, every race has a delegate. Like, yeah, it was a key, Joel. It was a key, and a graffiti group. It was both. So I'm going to turn these comments off. Yeah, so being a delegate, every race has a delegate, right? So these are the point of contact for every race, right? Now, when there's a drama that is evolving or has evolved in a prison, they try to get the delegates together first and talk about it. 9 times out of 10, these talks in front of the officers are only what the officers want to hear. We go back to the yard and we deal with it our own way. But the talk in front of these officers are, yeah, leave it with us, we'll try to sort it out, it's all good. We already know that we're going to go to war. but that's to save us from getting locked in. Now, this is what the delegate is. Also, a delegate is somebody that helps young brothers or Lebanese or Ireland, depends what delegate you are at the time, fill out for legal representation, funerals, bail, whatever it may be. If you just come to a jail and you don't know anyone and you're scared and it's your first time in, we go and talk to them and we walk them around the jail and we kind of be a buddy system for them until they get settled, right? It's also when people kill themselves. Now, I've been a delegate for many, many years, and I've sadly been part of 3 brothers committing suicide whilst in custody. 3. That's 3 too many. 3 too many, my people. Understand, like, being unalived is forever. Being unalived is forever. It's like, it's the end. It's the end. You're right. And it's sad that this is what jail makes people do. See, when I say it takes your spirit, if you unalive yourself in prison, prison holds your spirit forever. That's it. You're there. You're stuck. Like you're stuck. Like it's the worst place to be, let alone the worst place to be stuck for the rest of your life in spirit. It's just, jail's ugly. It's just ugly. Jail's ugly. There's no winners in prison. I tell you this all the time. And it's a cesspool of no hope, of sadness and heartbreak. There's never joy amongst any inmates. There's never any laughter. If it is, it's all synthetic. Laughter is synthetic. If you don't know what I mean by laughter being synthetic, it's either because people are on stay or it's fake. It's fake because they're trying to trick themselves into believing they're happy. But in their own minds, they're fighting demons consistently. But no one can actually tell you they're fighting demons because you don't want to be seen as weak. So you've never got an issue in prison. Everything's like rosy. There's never a drama for you in prison. And if there is, you always deal with it like a man. And that's what we do, right? No one talks about the issues. And this is why people end up alone in a cell, contemplating taking their own life, because they can't sort a way out of their issues. And they're too proud, or they've got too much like pride to ask for help. The biggest thing, right, and the biggest sign of strength is admitting that you need help. That is a sign of strength. Like if you can admit to somebody that you're struggling, you need help and you're not coping, to me, that's gangster. To me, that's a sign of a man that is strong, that is confident, that is like, like he knows what he wants out of life by admitting that he can't handle what he's going through at the moment. To me, that is pure strength, because you can only get better from asking for help. It will never get any worse. And that's what I try to tell all the young blokes when they first come to prison, or even today when I talk to them. It can only get better if you ask for help. There's no embarrassments, or there's no embarrassing moments asking for help. Somebody can either help you or say, no, I can't help you, but I may be able to point you in the direction of help, right? So understand, not asking for help can lead to the 3 people I've seen in prison unalive themselves because they feel like there's no way out. Now, this poor brother, I'm not going to mention his name, but this poor brother, his son went missing, right? And his son went missing while he was in custody, right? So he was living with this whilst in custody. He just finished like 14 years or something in jail. He got out and he come back. He was doing 4 years. His son goes missing. So he's going to bed every night not knowing where his young teenage son is, not understanding why he hasn't come home, like can't make phone calls at certain times, can't get on the phone because he's got no money, and the jail won't give anybody welfare calls because they just want to be og days. So he's going through all this, right, on his own. Yeah, he talks about it, but he doesn't share as much as he should be, right, because he's trying to keep it in-house, and it's his problem, right? So fast forward 15 months, 18 months, right, he's been missing for 18 months or 10 months or something. They find him. and they find him on the side of the road inside a bush, right? And he's been unalived. Well, this bloke is in jail. His son's been missing for a certain amount of time. He's now been found, and he's now been told that his son has been found unalived, right? And it's possible foul play. Now, his family comes from way out, like he's in Windsor. So his family's like 15 hours, 10 hours away, right? Out country. He fills out for the funeral. They knock him back because COVID's on, right? They knock him back because COVID's on. They say to him, listen, we can give you Skype. You know what Skype is? Skype is we'll give your family, right? Like we'll give you a channel. You can tune into it. You can watch the funeral from here, but there'll be no communication. So they can't talk to you. You can't talk to them. And you'll just have to sit there and watch. So he's like, what? They said, that's the best we can do. Like, we can't fly you up to your homeland. We can't get you to a closer jail for compassionate visits because COVID's on and there's no movements in New South Wales. And we're sorry, but this is it. So if you want this Skype, you take it. If you don't take it, it's up to you. All right? So he didn't take it. He thought, no, I'm not going, right? So now he doesn't get to go to his son's funeral. 12 months goes by. Now there's an inquest into the unaliving. Well, he wants to go to the inquest. And the jail says, no, we're not. Like, the legal team tries to get him there. They don't let him go, right? He tries to appeal it. They don't let him go. He's not needed. He's just the dad, but he wants to go there. But they say, no, you're not needed. Like, you're only the father. You're not needed. Like, you're just the father, you know? And everybody's telling him, oh, that's a shit go, Unc. You should be doing this. You should be doing that, without any knowledge on what he should actually be doing. They're just saying, that's a shit go, Unc. You should be getting on here, ringing these people, getting this done, getting this done. They can do this, Unc. They can do this, Unc. This is what people don't understand happens in prison. People will just talk so much each shade when they have no knowledge on it, but they're putting false hope in somebody that is actually, like, trying to do something, you know? Like, instead of just saying, Uncle, I don't know what to do, like, I don't even know what you can ring, like, I'm unsure. They fill this bloke with false hope and they tell him that he should be able to do this. This is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. You could do this, you can do this, right? Father's Day comes around. Now, he's one out in a cell, right? He comes to me and he says to me, he said, Cuz, listen, look, I don't really want to get locked into my own tonight. Like, I've been going through a lot of shit. Like, can I get 2 out with one of the brothers, right? And I'm not in his wing. So I said, yeah, bro, I'll get me across and I'll come and speak to the officers for you, right? Now, used to be this Oost-Grey on at Windsor. If you know her, you know her. She's a real skinny, like, surfy-looking screw, right? But she was a bad og day. And her name was Miss Kelly, right? But her real name's, I won't say her real name in case. Miss Kelly's her name. But she's a bad og day, right? So the brothers call me across. And I go in and I talk to the brothers first. Spicy pumpkin, thank you. I talk to the brothers first. Then I go in with the old Unc and say, listen, look, Chief, he doesn't want to be in his cell on his own tonight. He's going through some things. Is there any chance that we can get him in with another brother, right? Well, there's no other brother that's, like, one out, but he's one out. And I said, even if it's for the night, like, can you move a brother down or can you get something, you know? She's saying, no. I said, listen, can I come across and spend the night with him? She said, no, I'll have to move you wings and do all that paperwork. Like, if you come across, you lose your one out, you're going to stay over here. I said, look, like, he's going through some stuff. Speak to welfare, speak to the pippers. They understand what's going on. Like, I don't need to explain shit to you. Like, he needs to be 2 out tonight. He's admitting that he doesn't want to be 1 out. She turns around and says, if you think you can't be 1 out, I can organise a dry cell for you. Are you kidding me, bro? Are you fucking kidding me, bro? Do you know what a dry cell is? If you don't know what a dry cell is, chat, it's exactly that. It's a dry cell. It's a cell with a mattress and nothing else. A fire blanket that makes you itchy. Your clothes get taken off you. They're put outside your cell. You get put in a gown, and you're in a cell with nothing but your thoughts on camera, getting checked every hour, getting woke up if you're asleep every hour. Do you think that dry cell is going to be beneficial for the old uncle right now? It makes you think more, and it makes you stress more, because at least with you being in your own cell, you've got the white noise of a TV, radio, or whatever it is in your cell. When you're in a dry cell, you have nothing but time to think. And this is what he's trying not to do. This is why he asked to go 2 out. So he had company, he had conversation, he had things to take his mind off it. They offered him a fucking dry cell. Like, are you kidding me? Like, and I looked at her and laughed, and she's like, what? And I'm saying, like, seriously? Like, can we talk to a pipper then? If you don't know what a pipper is in the New South Wales prison system, they've got a hierarchy just like we kind of do in our pecking order, right? So now wing officers have 0 to 3 stripes. After 3 stripes, you have 1 star to 3 and 4 stars and a crown. Now, anything with 1 star and more is a pipper. And then they go through area managers, deputy governors, and governors. So I'm asking to see a pipper who runs that whole area, has control over everything, and he has the last say before the governor. So I asked Miss Kelly, is there any chance we can see a fucking pipper? She's like, it's 2:30, it's lock-in in half hour. I doubt anyone's available right now. So, well, can you make a phone call? Can you make a phone call? Because, listen, this bloke doesn't want to go to like 1 out tonight. He wants to be 2 out. And I'm not going to explain to you what's going on. The area managers know, welfare knows, and he wants to go 2 out. She jumps on the phone. She makes a phone call. No one answers. She hangs up. To her, she's done her part. Not ringing up again, not leaving a message, not asking if you can get back to me. She rings up, no one answers, she hangs up, and she comes back and says, listen, there's no one there, I told you, they're probably all gone home for the day. I then turn to the brother and say, what do you want to do, cuz? Like, what do you want to do, bruh? He's like, no, don't worry about it, cuz, all good. I said, cuz, like, what do you want to do? Like, do you want to go up and see the clinic? Like, what do you want to do? He's like, no, cuz, I'll work it out. So I go back to the office and say, Chief, listen, there's no way you can get someone in with him just for the night. Like, put him 3 out if you have to. Like, put him in with other brothers. You know what I mean? Like, let him sleep on the floor. Like, we can't do that. What if the fucking cell burns down? What if this happens? What if that happens? Yeah? What's about to happen happens? Like, I didn't say anything like that, but now I wish I said that to her. Like, I wish I said to her now, yeah, what if he does... You know what I mean? But I didn't. I just said, like, are you kidding me? There's no cell going to burn down. We don't even smoke anymore. Like, are you serious? What if a tidal wave comes from Maroubra and we get caught out at Windsor and we can't, when we drown? Like, there's a lot of what ifs. Like, come on, man, seriously. So anyways, I say, cuz, listen, what do you want to do? You know? He says, no, cuz, I'll be sweet. Well, I don't know. I just felt weird. You know what I mean? I just felt weird, and I didn't feel right. But I knew that we had done our best at that time, but I just didn't feel right. Like, and this sits with me now. Like, even today, you know, like, it doesn't cross my mind as much as it used to. But now, like, I always think there was more that I could have done. But yeah, it's just something you get caught with, I suppose. So anyways, I go back across to my wing. You know, I'm 1 out and I'm in D wing, right? And D wing's a non-punishment wing. It's for non-conformance. It's for people that are always in trouble. He was in A wing. That's the workers and remand and whatnot. I was in D wing. That's for people that, like I just said, that don't conform to prison routine. C and B wing were workers' wings, right? So the next morning comes, right? The sweepers get out. They drop our milk at the door. Now, the milk comes in. 8:30, 9 o'clock, 9:30, we're not getting out. Now they come around and they let out the methadone and morning pills to go to the clinic. Then the screws say, we're locked in, you're locked in today, there'll be no let go, you're locked in, right? So the boys from our wing go up to the clinic to get their methadone and their morning pills. One of the brothers come back and they come to my cell and they say, "Cuz," I say, "What? You heard what happened?" I said, "How can I hear what happened, you man? I haven't been out." One of the brothers in A-Pod hung himself last night. I said, "What?" I said, "Bruh, one of the brothers in A-Pod hung himself last night." I said, no way. I knew in the pit of my stomach who it was. I didn't say anything to the bruh, but I knew in the pit of my stomach who it was. I said, "Bruh, can you go get a chief for me? Can you go get a ooskray for me? Can you go get a ooskray for me," right? So he goes back downstairs and he says to the screw that's standing out the gate, waiting for everyone to come back in from the clinic, "Chief, wait, Carl wants to see you." "Nah, tell him, mate, we're locked in, I'm not doing nothing." Like, "No, we're locked in, we're not doing nothing." And I said, when he's come back up, I said, "Bruh, go down, tell him that I want to fucking see him now because I'm the Aboriginal delegate, and if that's the case, I want to fucking know who it is and I want to get over to the fucking wing and talk to the other brothers, you know?" Because, like, I told you the process. When there is somebody that's unalived, they leave the person in the cell until the coroner comes. They leave the cell door open. So everybody in Windsor, you don't get to see in another cell. You're above each other. This, I suppose, was a blessing, but they would have been hearing everything, all the talk, everything, being locked in. It's the worst feeling knowing that someone's downstairs, whatever's happened to them, you know, like it's horrible. It's horrible. And there is no compassion on the ends of the officers. There's just no compassion. There's no dignity and there's no compassion at all. And like I said, this is what made me turn away from prison. Like, it was just this moment in my life made me rethink what I wanted to do as a person, as a human, and how I wanted to end my life and what I wanted to be known for. So 4 hours passed by, right? My door opens. I'm laying on my bed. I just finished training, right? I just done push-ups, sit-ups, squats. Actually, I train with the cards. If you don't know what the cards are, every suit represented like a push-up, a squat, a sit-up, or whatever it was, you know? So I finished training. I just had a shower. I'm laying down on my bed, right? My door opens. It's the acting governor and the Aboriginal welfare officer. Now, they removed me from my cell, right? And I'm standing at the front of my cell. I'm talking. They explained to me who it is. It was the brother that I spoke, and I don't want to say his name, but it was the brother that I spoke to the day before, right? And they knew that I got called over the day before. So they asked, what was his situation yesterday? And I told them. I said, listen, he didn't want to be too out. They didn't want to put him in with anybody else. All they offered him was a dry cell, and look what's occurred. And he's like, what? Like, what? And I said, yeah, like, don't pretend that you didn't know. She fucking tried to ring up. No one answered. And she was happy to not to try again. Like, he's on your hands. Like, he's on your hands, simple, right? So they said, listen, we want you to go over there and talk to the other brothers, right? And I said, like, can you pull them out of the cell? Like, I don't want to go to one cell and talk to one brother through a cell door. I want to be able to go to that whole wing, pull the brothers out, talk to them, go to the next wing, talk to them, go to the next wing, talk to them, come back to my wing and talk to them. Like, every brother needs to know, like, and I want to get a piece of paper to donate money for flowers to send to his family for his funeral. Like, from all the brothers and all the other inmates in this centre today, I want to get an application together so everybody can donate $1, 50 cents, $2, whatever it is, whatever they can afford, and get flowers sent home to his family. Now, this is what's great about the brothers, about just jail. This is a good thing about prison. Even though you might be at a race war, even though you might have animosity with other races, when something like this occurs, the jail comes together. People of other races were putting $50, $120, $5, $30. Like, when something like this happens, the jail does stick together. That's 100%. It doesn't matter what was going on the day before. It doesn't matter what's going to go on the day after. But when something like this happens for any race, everybody comes together and supports each other. like that, you know, like to send flowers back to the family. Well, now because he's Aboriginal, right, and there's been a death in custody, there's an investigation, right? I go around and talk to the brothers and I say to them, listen, you know, Rara's been found in his cell. We don't know what's occurred. Listen, like, you know, we're going to be locked in. If you're having any issues, buzz up, yell out, talk to the welfare officers. And I had to go around and say this to all the brothers in other wings, you know, like, listen, brother's passed away. If you're having issues, if this has affected you in some certain way, please talk to an officer, buzz up, let them know, you know, like, don't end up like this. Like, we need to share our issues. We need to talk. Well, over the next 5 or 6 days, like, obviously they move him, they send him home to his family, right? Now, they bury him up there. Now, after they buried him, the family wants to come down and smoke the cell out because being Indigenous, we're spiritual, right? And they believe that they need to send his spirit home. This is the moment, like I said, that had me, I'm done. I'm actually done, bro. Like, I'm done. Because all I could think of was the pain and the torment that I've inflicted on other humans, and I've had other family members of theirs react this way, but I'd never seen it and I've never been around it. And it made me really think on what I wanted to do with the rest of my life because, as I said, the tears and the cries, bro, it was on a different level. The howling of a mum burying her child is just, it's unexplainable. So they come in to the jail, right? They come in with the didgeridoo, clapsticks. They come in with his daughter, his sister, his wife, his mum, his brother, his 2 nephews. They all come into the jail, right? I organised for every brother to be on the oval. Every brother in that jail, I organised to have them on the oval. So when this family first come in, I had them come to the oval and I had all the brothers go up and give their condolences to them. So we got like half hour with the family, right? And we were talking to them and we're just sitting around having a yarn, you know? After that, me, one other brother, the family, a welfare officer, and the governor, we went over to the cell, all right? This cell had not been opened since that morning, and they found him. So after they removed him, they locked the cell. They never opened it again. Now, they had moved everyone out of A wing and put them on the oval. So it was only me, this other brother, welfare officer, the governor, and his family in the wing, right? We take a step back. The governor opens the cell. They had to get another key, actually, because it was the first time both locks had been locked on a cell door. On a jail door, you got 2 locks. Usually they only lock the one, but this time they locked them both because they had to do an investigation and they didn't want anyone else to go in that cell. So they had them locked twice, right? So we had to wait for the second key. They come down, security comes down, they lock it, they unlock it, they open it. The mum and the wife walk in first, and they've been told where he was found. They've been told where he was found when they opened the cell door that morning to get milk. They told the mum and the family how he was found and how he had unalived himself, right? So they went straight to that spot and they just started sobbing. Like, they threw themselves on the ground and they started sobbing in a way I've never heard before. Like, it was crazy. I'm sitting back with this other brother and the welfare officer, and we're not talking. Like, but, you know, like, we're just not communicating, but our eyes are talking to each other with pain. Like, I'm hurting, he's hurting, but no words are being spoken. But I can, like, he's telling me everything he can of how much hurt he's going through by just the look in his eyes, you know, and we're just experiencing something together that we've never experienced before. Then they start playing the didgeridoo. When the didgeridoo starts playing in the cell, the mum, the girlfriend, the sister, the nephews, they just start bawling their eyes out. The other nephew, who's of age, he lit up these eucalyptus leaves in like a little shell, and he started to smoke the cell out, right? Once the cell started to be smoked out, the older uncle that was playing the didgeridoo started to sing in lingo. This is when I got goosebumps. I was like, bruh, like, this is crazy. Like, this is actually unbelievable. Like, and they started to, like, chant and sing in lingo and tell him to go home and like, tell him that he's loved and, like, all this stuff. And it was just a feeling that I can't explain now. It was just like, it was horrible. It was just horrible, But all I could think of is in that moment that she offered him the dry cell. Is that like, that's all I could think of. And I sit back and I wonder why that was all I could think of. Like, I was present in the heartache. I was present in the pain. But all I could think of was the day, like, they offered him the dry cell. Like, they offered him a dry cell, bro. And my pain started to turn into anger. And it was like a channeled anger. It was like directed at one person, like not even at officers, just it was starting to get directed at her, She wasn't on. And I was spewing about that because I wanted her to be on to see, hear, and witness the pain that this family's going through because you, so much of a duty of care, didn't offer anything other than a dry cell. Like, that's all I could think about. I don't know why, but that's all I could think about, So that made me angry to a point where, like, I was like, bruh, yeah, I was, well, after they smoked the cell out and they done their chanting and they spoke in tongue, he come out and he come over to me and he thanked me for, like, bringing all the brothers out and, like, appreciated the flowers that they got. And he shook my hand and he gave me a cuddle. I then went through the family, spoke to the mum, spoke to the, like, the aunties and the sister and his daughter. And they all said the same thing to me. You need to get out of here. This place isn't for our people. You need to get out of here. This place isn't for our people. It's killing us. Like, you need to get out of here. This place isn't for our people. It's killing us. And them words were like, I don't know, they just felt like knives. Like, I felt like she had a knife on the end of her tongue, and every time she said it to me, it felt like it just stabbed me a little bit more each time. It just felt like her words were stabbing me, bro. Like, she was just, like, her pain was like, I felt her pain, but I felt her pain for me being in prison. Like, I felt her pain for my family whilst I was in prison, and, like, it was crazy. It was crazy, Obviously, there was an inquest into what happened to Kazo because that's what happens, but no one knows the result of the inquest. Like, no one got called to the inquest because he was one out, so they knew it was a suicide. Like, there was so much that should have been spoken about at that inquest that probably would have made the findings a whole lot different. But of course, they don't get involved and bring people that know anything up because they've never been wrong. They've always had our duty of care at the forefront. Like, if our duty of care has been neglected, this was one of the times that it had definitely been neglected. But yeah, that's a story that is obviously upsetting and very disappointing. But it's a story also that had me change my ways of never wanting to go back to prison again because it made me actually think about how I've inflicted this pain on other families out there, how they've mourned their child, like the way they're mourning their child now because I've committed an act of violence towards this person and now this family's left without a loved one. And because I've never been around to actually witness that sort of pain, it actually changed my mind on what I wanted to do with the rest of my life. And to the youth out there that think jail's fun and games, it's actually a place of seriousness, heartache, and disappointment. That's all jail will ever give you. If anybody offers you anything other than that, they're lying to you. Everybody ends up the same way always. There's no winners in prison. Yes, thank you for the hand darts. So, like, understand prison will affect you before you realise you're being affected. And then when you are affected, sometimes it's too late. Like, sometimes it's actually too late and you can't stop what's about to happen. So we all think we went through prison and we're being unscathed. It's only now that you step back and you get out of the game, you realise how damaged you are. So this is what I try to tell the youth of today. Get out while you still can and while you're young enough to change your life and live without the scars. Because when you start to live with scars, you first learn how to live with them, and then you got to learn how not to carry them. That's because the scars that prison leave you, you uncover a new one every day. And you don't even realise that you've carried that for 15 years, because it will take one thing to set something off, and then you'll realise why that one thing has affected you in a certain manner, because you can relay it back to something that you thought had no bearing on you at that time. But 15 years later, you're like, fuck, bro. So, yeah, and the worst scar to carry is the one that no one else can see, not even you. Like, they're the deepest scars and they're the worst scars to carry. And everybody that's done a maximum security prison and a long time of it carries scars that no one sees, not even himself. So, yeah, it's a mug's game, bro. Get out while you can, because there's no hero status in being an inmate or owning a min number. That's for sure. But chat, listen, boy, we push for A-League 2 tonight, and USK. Yeah, it's rough, bro. It's crazy, eh? It's actually crazy. But it's sad too, bro. It's sad. It's sad. Yeah, 100%. The hierarchy in society has failed humanity, bro. That's crazy. It's actually crazy, bro. Yeah, I'm sweet. I'm fine, bro. I'm fine. Yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, thanks for asking, Fox. You're a legend, but it's just shit. It's a shit feeling to understand that you've inflicted that pain on other people and they've gone through that. And then to have officers offer him a dry cell, like, that's crazy, bro. That's crazy. Like, that was their fault. See, but you know what's funny? If you understand what a dry cell is, it's a form of punishment, bro. So they offered him punishment. This is why inmates don't come forward. This is why inmates do not come forward, because they were offering him, what's a dry cell, Beck? A dry cell is a cell that has a concrete bed. I have a lot to answer for, Fox, 100%. It's a concrete bed with nothing else in it but a toilet and a tap. You're on camera 24 hours. The light stays on. You get one blanket that is a fire blanket and makes you itchy. You have to take your clothes off, even your jocks. You can't have anything on that can cause you to cause harm to yourself, and you put a gown on. And then they wake you up every hour if you're asleep, and if you're not asleep, they just come and bang on your door every hour. A dry cell is a form of punishment. So this bloke comes forward, admits to not being able to go 1 out for the night because he's going for issues, and their only fucking source of help is to give him a punishment cell. Like, come on, bruh. Like, seriously? Come on, bruh. Like, but your duty of care is to make sure I don't hurt anybody or hurt myself. But your first form of help is to put someone in a punishment cell. That's crazy, bruh. That's crazy. That's crazy. But that's what they do. That's what they do. And that's all they ever do. Like, they do not ever take accountability or responsibility. How old was the goals? I don't get that. Yeah, it's messed up. Oh, how old was the guy? Bruh, he was like early 50s, bruh. Early 50s. Have you heard of Peter Fox, Foxy? No, I haven't. Yeah, early 50s, bruh. So he just done 15 years or 14 years or something, got out and then come back. Yeah, and his son went missing when he was in jail. They found him unalived. He went through his issues and then he unalived himself. Oh, he was on remand. He was on remand. Like, he was on remand. He was on remand for nothing. He probably would have went home in 6 months or 8 months. But again, you know, like, he couldn't get a court date to get bail, couldn't get to the funeral because it was COVID. Like, it was just a bad time for something like this to happen, and they never made it easier for him. Do you know what I mean? Like, and that's what jail does. Jail is not meant to be easy. Jail is meant to be nasty, cruel, and when it's anything other, you know, like, that's when you should be worried. But when jail plays its proper part, this is what it is. This is what it is, bro. When jail plays true to form, these are the stories you hear. Jones is back. Do you know what I mean? These are the stories you need to hear, because this is jail being true to form. All the good times and all the fun times in jail, that is trickery. That's just because someone's having a good day. Like, jail is nasty. It's cold. It's stale. It's, you know, like, it's putrid. It's like putrid. So yeah, I do know Quinlan's. Yeah. Yeah, 100%, sweets, for sure. It's an illusion, 100%. Tabby Payton, high-level member, thank you very much. Yeah, it's putrid, bro, yeah. There you go, bro. Listen, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something about this, right? Oi, Hardy, you just brought up something, right? I'm not going to... But every time you're inside, it feels normal, 100%. And that's what's scary, bro, because you see what happens? They desensitize you to that. And then they want you to get out and have sensitivity towards committing crimes or towards humanity. But then when you're in jail, you have to desensitize yourself to that, because if you let things like that affect you in prison, right, you're never going to get out with your sanity. So you switch off and you become desensitized. But then when it's time to turn your senses back on and get out and try to be a normal human again, you can't find them, because you switched them off for so long, you've lost them. But now, who's to blame for that? You or the prison system? Because look what the prison system offers you, bro. It offers you nothing but heartache. So to stop your heart from aching, you got to fucking be fucking hardened. So you need to be desensitized, because if you're sensitive in jail and you're sensitive to heartache, bro, jail's just going to be difficult, because no one in there cares for you, bro. Not even your fellow inmates, not even the people that go to war with you. Do you know what I'm saying? Us, cause we put ourselves there at the end of the day. I don't get that. What? Us, cause we put ourselves there at the end of the day. But what do you mean by that? Where's the slags? Us, because we put ourselves there at the end of the day. But every time you're inside, it feels normal. What happened when Charmaine's neighbours come in? In the escape, it's our fault. We were there. Yeah, like, no one's blaming anybody else for us going to prison. No, like, you're there because you put yourself there, 100%. But what's that to do with being desensitized? Like, I don't get your argument in that answer. Like, yeah, we put ourselves in prison 100%, for sure. But does that mean because we put ourselves there that we should be punished because we want to go and see another brother for the night because my son's just been murdered, so that's my fault because I put myself in prison? Oh, that's what they say. Yeah, 100%, bro. Yeah, I get what you're saying now. Yeah, my bad, bro. I apologise. Yeah, 100%. I get what you're saying now. Yeah, you put yourself there, so you deal with it. Yeah, 100%, bro. Yeah, and that's what's fucked, bro. Exactly right, bro. Yeah, exactly right, bro. Yeah, oi, my bad, bro. Yeah, 100%. Oi, I apologise. Yeah, I read it wrong, bro. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, my bad. Yeah, bro. That's exactly right. That's their attitude, bro. Yeah, you put yourself there. You deal with it. Yeah, bro, 100%. That's putrid. Yeah. No, it's my bad. Thank you for sorting that out, whoever that was. But yeah, bro, that's crazy, right? Yeah, you put yourself there, like you deal with it. You put yourself there, you deal with it. Yeah, that's putrid, bro. But then when we switch off and we become animals, bro, like, what do you want from us? Then what do you want from us? Like normality, like you made us who we are. Like you created this. Now you deal with it kind of thing. But that's how they win because that's our mindset. And then we end up back in prison because we're angry at them, bro. Do you know how we get back at them? Forced normality. Yeah. Do you know how we get back at them? Right? Wow, Adam lad. Wow, is that piper still working? I don't know what you mean by that, bro. Um, Yeah, exactly, bro. The system isn't made for us to win. That's exactly right, bro. Exactly right, bro. 100%. And that's what I'm trying to tell the youth. There's no winners in prison, bro. There is no winners in prison at all. Never is. Never will be, right? The only way we get back at them, bro, is getting out and never going back. That's how we beat them. That's how we beat them. Because when we blame them for what we've become, right? And we put ourselves back in prison, we keep giving them justification on why they treat us the way they treat us. Do you know what I'm saying? We need to get out, live our life the best way we can or the best way we know how with the scars that we carry, right? And prevent other people on being cut by the same knife, which is prison. Do you know what I mean? We need to educate our youth and our like even like our other elders or whoever it is. What would you do if someone you knew become a screw? He's a mum's soul. Did he really? Jums. He's a liar. Oh, he's a liar. He's a liar. Oh, cuz, Jums, no way. Fuck me, dude. No way, eh? He's a yeah, I know, Jules, I know. I believe you, bro. He's a oh, fuck me, dude. Yeah, we've been doing it all night, ads. We're in A-League 3. We're trying to push. But I'm about to end it, chat, anyway. It's been a mad, me far close. It's been a good night, chat. I appreciate having you in here. I love all of yous. Oh, what would I do if I knew... Sorry. What would you do if someone become a screw you know? Oh, that's a hard question, bro. That's a hard question because now I'm out of the game. Oh, you know what I say to him? Be prepared to be hated. That's what I'd say. No, sorry, Adam. I'm glad you come through, bro. Sometimes they're shit conversations, but the shit ones we really need to have because they're the ones that hit home the most, you know. But if I knew someone that was going to become a screw or a police officer, the only bit of advice I'd give them was be prepared to be hated. Be prepared to be hated. Would I still be friends with them? Right now, like I'm out of the game, bro. Like it's like, you know, I wouldn't have any sort of opinion on them. That's your career choice right now. I don't agree with what they do to inmates in there. If you're not going to be like them and you're going in there to be a benefit and a change and you're going to try to help an inmate, like all the best to you. But if you're going to be in there and become part of what they represent, nah, bro, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't. No way. I know what they represent behind the walls. I know how they treat inmates behind the walls. But I also know out of 10 bad ones, there's one good one that actually do care. And it's usually an old female, like a nen roll. It's actually an old female that has been around for many years and she acts like a nen. And if her people are doing wrong, she'll call them. You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. Where's 100%. The screws that genuinely care get looked after. Yeah, Listen, screws that genuinely care, the boys don't attack, abuse, or whatever. Like, they treat them with respect. If there's an officer in there that bends over backwards to help you get what you need done, or is genuine in their responses and says, listen, I can't do this right now, come back later, or, or goes and does something for you when you forgot about it and calls you to the office, bruh, 100% they get treated with respect. 100%. But it's the ones that fucking come in every morning saying, I'm going to make his life hell today. I'm going to take his TV. I'm going to search his cell. I'm going to take all his extra greens. I'm going to take his extra towers. Locked up for the first time though, man. We got to troll along. Yeah. Yeah, right. They're everywhere. But, oi, chat, I love yous. I had a massive night tonight. I appreciate yous coming through. Tomorrow, Mr. Fallon Bathurst. What a og day. Oi, I tell you who else was bad at Bathurst? Sweet, crunch, dry, candy. That's so hard to say. Laters, brother. I love yous. Thank you. Talk soon, Kari. Hey, for sure, heart boxing, bro. Love you, my man. Listen, I love yous, chat. You know what we are. We ain't a gang. We're a family. If you're down, hang around. If not, if you ain't talking, you're stalking. If you're tapping, if you ain't tapping, you're lacking. If you're down, hang around. If not, what the fuck you watch for? Oi, if I wasn't ROBIN210, I'd watch too, lad. You know what we are. We ain't a gang, we're a family. Let's hose. Oi, this is a real takeover. ROBIN210official.com. Go and purchase a shirt today. And if you want to wake up with Robin every morning and have a coffee, go and buy yourself a coffee mug. Yes, chat. Oi, I love yous. See yous again tomorrow. A2 tomorrow. Let's hoge. And until then, sweet crunch, freeze dry candy. Oi, I'm out. I love yous, chat. Same time tomorrow, 8:30, A2 League. Let's hoge. Bang.